Dzień dobry, good morning guys. Let me welcome you to Poland. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you are new, hi, welcome. My name is Andrea, I'm a travel agent and a photographer. And I love combining my two passions, travel and photography. Today we are here in Katowice, Poland. And no, I'm not with the travel agencies this time, though this trip was won by my colleague, but he couldn't come, so I'm here. But honestly, I don't mind. It's so beautiful. I've never been to Poland before, and I'm here with my mom because I won 2 tickets, so I took her. And a funny story, this was her first flight ever. I think she would have never thought of flying ever in her life, but well, I guess there is a first time for everything, right? And she was so not panicked, but a bit nervous, because you know, when it's your first time, people are telling you that, oh, at the takeoff and landing, those are the worst, and you know, you feel your stomach just come up to your heart and mouth. And you know what? It wasn't the best flight, but it wasn't the worst in my experience. And she was like, oh, I thought it would be much worse. So she is so excited. I think she's gonna want to come on other trips with me. I'm happy for that. So we arrived yesterday. We quickly visited Katowice, very quickly, because we had some delay, and we arrived after 5 p.m. Since we were staying right in the city center, we went out for a quick walk to take it all in. I instantly fell in love with the brick buildings. There was something about them that just felt so different and full of character. We passed through the Easter market, which was such a nice surprise. And of course I had my 70-200mm lens with me. Like, why not? We saw St. Mary's Church, the Cato statue, which is the Silesian insurgents monument, and of course right nearby is the Spodek Arena, which genuinely looks like a flying saucer. But today is a new day. We are going to Auschwitz, and it's gonna be an interesting day. Tomorrow we'll go to Krakow, and after that to Czestochowa. So let me take you guys with us. It's gonna be interesting, it's gonna be short, so I think I'm gonna include everything in one vlog. I'm not gonna try to make it very long, so I'm just gonna share the highlights, and of course I'm gonna tell you about the places, just like in short notes. And yeah, we are staying at Mercure Hotel. I hope I'm pronouncing this well. I've never known how to pronounce this hotel's name. Mercure. It's a 4-star hotel, and let me tell you, it's amazing. I mean, the food is very good. Yesterday we had dinner, and I really like that dining area. It's so green, and you know, the combination of like modern and the plants, and it was just, it's amazing. I love it. And even the rooms are very nice. We have a nice view. We have the train station nearby. We have a mall, which I don't care about, but the view is okay. It's okay. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get going, because the bus is waiting for us and we're going to Auschwitz. Auschwitz was the largest complex of Nazi concentration and extermination camps operating between 1940 and 1945. Today, it is preserved as the Auschwitz-Birkenau State Museum and Memorial. We started our visit in the main camp, Auschwitz I. This was originally used for forced labor, and it was also the site of the first experimental gassings. As we walked through the gate, we saw the infamous inscription, Arbeit macht frei, which translates to "work sets you free." It was a very powerful and unsettling moment. I was struck by how large the site is, so many buildings, each one holding a different story. We only visited a few of them, but each block contains its own exhibition, telling part of what happened here. In one of the first buildings, we learned about the system of extermination through photographs, documents, testimonies. It was incredibly difficult to see and process. In another block, there were personal belongings taken from the people who arrived here, things they brought with them, believing they were starting a new life. There were suitcases, many still marked with names, thousands of shoes, dishes, and walking canes, everyday objects that suddenly felt unbearably heavy with meaning. One section explained the different categories of prisoners, each identified by symbols sewn onto their clothing. We also saw the living quarters, rows of narrow beds placed so close together, it's hard to imagine how people survived in those conditions. And then we entered one of the gas chambers, the room where victims were locked inside and poison gas was released through openings in the ceiling. Nearby, we saw the crematorium. It's difficult to put into words what it feels like to stand in a place like that. After that, we continued to Birkenau, which was built in 1941 and became the main site of mass extermination. This is where most of the victims were killed, in large gas chambers. Standing there, near the railway tracks, I couldn't help but imagine the trains arriving through the gate, people not knowing what awaited them. We only visited part of the site, but even that was enough to understand how harsh life must have been, especially in the cold winters. It's a place that stays with you, a reminder of one of the darkest chapters in history. After that, we headed to the Guido Mine, one of the deepest visitor mines in Europe. And I don't think I've ever been inside a coal mine before, so it was cool. We had to wait a bit before going in as other groups were still inside, so in the meantime I picked up a little coin souvenir. Once it was our turn, we got our helmets, safety first, and took the elevator down into the mine, descending 320 meters underground. I have to admit it was a bit scary at first, but also incredibly exciting. When we arrived, I was immediately fascinated by all the old mining carts and machinery. There was something so raw and authentic about it. Our guide explained how coal was extracted, walking us through the entire process, and we also got to see what miners used to wear back in the day. It's hard to believe how little protection they had, just simple clothing and those classic caps that honestly reminded me a bit of Peaky Blinders.
So in Polish, this one is młot, this one is dłuto. In Silesian, this one is perlik, this one is żelazko. Quite similar, isn't it? When it starts, we're not hopping on that because it goes the opposite direction. We'll go the direction.
We even got to hold real coal, which, not gonna lie, felt like the most authentic souvenir. But the highlight for me and my mom was definitely the suspended electric railway. I had been looking forward to it the whole time, and it did not disappoint. It was such a unique experience moving through the mine like that. Overall, it was such an interesting experience, a mix of history, adventure, and something completely out of the ordinary. And to make it even more unexpected, at the end of the tour there was actually an underground bar. Yes, a bar where you could grab a drink or a snack hundreds of meters below the surface.
Dzień dobry. Yesterday, actually, it wasn't in our plan, but we somehow managed to go to Guido Mine. They had a room for 2 more people, so we took the chance. Because we weren't on the list, we were on the list for Czestochowa, which we will visit tomorrow. But it was really nice. I really wanted to go and see the mine because I've seen photos and I was like, oh, it would be a nice experience. Plus, if you know me, you know I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek the original series, and if you are a Trekkie too, you know the episode Devil in the Dark. So I'm not gonna say I was expecting the Horta to just appear from somewhere, but I did feel like I was in that episode. It was really cool, and the whole experience was really nice as well. And our guide was very cool and funny, so yeah, that was a cherry on top actually. And today we have our visit to Krakow, so I'm super excited to see this city.
The next day felt like the longest, in the best way possible. From Katowice we arrived in Krakow in about an hour, and our first stop was at Wawel Castle. Right next to it we saw the famous Wawel dragon statue, a bronze dragon surrounded by legend, and honestly, it felt like stepping into a story. I absolutely loved the towers of Wawel Cathedral. They were so impressive. I loved the clock on it. We had a bit of free time there, so I took the chance to explore and capture everything, including the most beautiful magnolia tree, which made the whole place feel even more magical. After that, we made our way towards the old town, and on the way we passed by the residence of Pope John Paul II. Soon we arrived in the main market square, right in the heart of Krakow's old town. Our guide gave us a quick tour, and we saw landmarks like St. Mary's Basilica, the Cloth Hall, and the Town Hall Tower. We also passed by St. Florian's Gate and the Krakow Barbican, which looks like something straight out of a medieval story. Then we had a few hours to explore on our own, and I made the most of it, walking around, taking photos, and just enjoying the atmosphere.
There was a little market full of souvenirs, and I absolutely loved seeing the horse carriages. They felt so iconic, like something you always see in photos of Krakow. The horses were so adorable, and the whole scene felt like a postcard came to life. We were recommended restaurant number 7, so we tried one of Poland's most famous dishes, pierogi, traditional dumplings filled with potato and cheese, topped with caramelized onions, and they were absolutely delicious. And inside I discovered a wall full of signatures and thank you notes from famous visitors, including Josh Radnor. I'm a huge fan of How I Met Your Mother. Safe to say, I highly recommend this place, and the prices were actually really reasonable too. After that, we wandered a bit more through the Easter market, just taking in the atmosphere. I was also on a little mission to find this beautiful arch I had seen in photos, somewhere near the Church of Transfiguration. And it just looked so pretty, I really wanted to see it in real life. But then it started raining and it suddenly got a bit colder. While we were waiting for the group to meet again, I noticed a doorway leading into a museum and saw there was a rooftop bar inside. So we had to check it out. I ordered a hot candied ginger tea and honestly it was one of the best teas I've had in a while. And that view from up there? Just look at this. Later that evening, once we got back to Katowice, my mom and I went for one last walk through the Easter market, or so I thought. I was hoping to pick up a few magnets, but unfortunately it was already closed. Still, I managed to get a few really nice shots of the trams, so not a bad ending of the day at all.
And welcome to our last day here in Poland. Happy Easter! Today is Easter Sunday and we're going to Czestochowa, so we will have another full day of visiting. I have to say I slept so well last night. Of course, probably it was because of all the walking we did yesterday and I was exhausted, but I never told you, but ever since they launched the Artemis, I've been watching NASA's YouTube channel live, and even when I go to sleep, I like to leave it like that, and I don't know, it just calms me. It's so cool.
Now, once they put on these suits and pressurize them, they will expand a little bit, and it'll make it a little more difficult to move about the spacecraft. That's why this test is so critical to help team members write future procedures for future crews.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm super excited. I so wish I could go to space.
First of all, how cute is this little dessert we had at breakfast? With the tiny Easter egg on top, it was almost too pretty to eat. On this day, we visited Jasna Góra Monastery in Czestochowa, which translates to Bright Mountain. It's the most important pilgrimage site in Poland and one of the most significant Marian shrines in the world, home to the icon of Black Madonna of Czestochowa. We arrived just in time to enter the church and I was so impressed by the architecture, all the little details everywhere you looked. We also caught part of the Easter ceremony, which made the whole experience feel even more special. It was very peaceful and really beautiful.
Do przelitego serca Jezusa. Życzę Wam.
After a while, my mom and I stepped outside to explore the surroundings a bit.
There's a park right in front of the monastery, and I really wanted to see the whole complex from the other side, but I got a message that the bus was already leaving, so I didn't have the chance to go and take my photo. I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, I was glad we got back to Katowice earlier than expected, because the weather was finally warmer and we could go and explore the city. We went back to the Easter market for one last walk, and that's when we met the cutest dog, Toti. He was just lying there so calm, letting everyone pet him. I still don't know how he managed to stay that relaxed with so many people around. You could pet him, take photos, and even leave a small donation. It was honestly such a wholesome moment. Later we decided to walk a bit more around the city, and I told my mom I wanted to see the museum building. On the way we came across the Church of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and then I turned around and spotted a mural of Zbigniew Wodecki. And at first I honestly thought it was Andrea, but thanks to a kind Polish follower, I quickly learned that I was wrong. Still, they do look a bit alike. Eventually we found the museum area, and nearby there was this stunning brick building that immediately caught my attention. It turned out to be the Academy of Music, and I'm so happy I stopped to photograph it. It was the perfect way to end the trip, just walking, discovering little details, and enjoying the moment.
Woo! Okay, guys, so as for the end of this vlog, I want to show you what I got, because I always forget, but this time I remembered, and I got quite a few interesting items. I mean, mostly postcards and magnets, but they are really nice. So let's start with Krakow, okay? So I got these cute, really cute postcards. I got two of this one, and I got one of this one. And I really like, they are kind of like canvas. And I always love postcards that are like painted or sketched, because they are more interesting than just regular photo postcards. And speaking of Krakow, I also got this cute magnet. It's a little house. It kind of reminds me of the one I got from Burano, and it says handmade in Poland, so that's a plus. I also got some postcards. You know what? Let's finish with Krakow. I also got this cute bunny cookie. Oh, and it came with this Happy Easter card. And speaking of postcards, I got some from Auschwitz. I really love how moody it is, the photo. It really transmits that energy. And I also got some magnets, of course. I got this one and this one. Now we went to Guido Mine, so of course I got some magnets from there too. It's like this. You have the coal, and speaking of coal, I got like a little chunk of coal right from the mine. So this is like a real souvenir. I hope that it will arrive home safely. And last but not least, we have some small things from Katowice. I got two magnets, of course. Magnets are my life. So I got this kind. It's really pretty with the city's symbols. And I got this one. It's like a stamp. And a free map. But like, why not? So excuse me, I forgot about this coin that I got from Guido Mine, from those vending machines. I got one from Athens as well, about 2 years ago, and I think I'm gonna start collecting them. They're cute. So that was the little haul. I really hope you guys like the items, and I don't want to make this vlog any longer, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye!